This video will walk you through some top tips on how to score a 7 in the IB Business Management IA. Now this video will focus on the 4 key parts of the BMIA. I'll go through some top tips and key considerations you should keep in mind for each part of the IA process. Now the first stage is formulating a research question. This is key, as not having a strong RQ can prevent you from scoring a 7, even before you start writing. There are 4 areas that you need to be aware of when coming up with your RQ. The first is the key concept. While the IB has 4 key concepts, change, creativity, ethics, and sustainability, it is highly recommended that you choose change or sustainability as your key concept. These IAs have consistently scored higher than ethics or creativity IAs, as it is often easier for students to link these key concepts to various parts of the BM syllabus. This is also important as it will help you maximize your marks in Criterion A, which focuses on your ability to integrate the key concept into your IA. If possible, you should also try to explicitly include your key concept in your RQ. This highlights to your teacher or examiner your area of focus, but is not mandatory. The next factor is that your RQ must focus on a specific business event or issue. Now this can be a new product launch, an acquisition, or a new policy enacted by a business. This really can be anything of interest to you, but it needs to be highly specific in order to help ensure that your analysis is focused. Furthermore, your RQ should contain a specific objective, which is related to your business event. A good way to do this is to think about the cause or motivation of your business event. For example, if you're looking at an acquisition, consider why the company went ahead with this acquisition. Was it to improve profitability, market share, its market positioning? Again, you have some room to choose what this objective is, but make sure it is specific, focused, and links well to your business event. Finally, make sure you specify your geographic or industry focus. Now, the IA is only 1,800 words, meaning that if appropriate, you should focus on a specific market or industry as part of your analysis. Now, here are some examples of 3 RQs, which look like good RQs, but have small issues that could lead to the student lacking focus when they write the IA. So with the first one, all the criteria that I just discussed are met except the specificity of the objective. The student here has done a good job in identifying growth as an objective, but this is a broad term. Growth can have many meanings. Are we talking about revenue, profitability, or market share? It is always better to be more specific when identifying your key objective. The second one is also a good RQ, apart from the reference to Reebok sustainability plans. This question would benefit from being slightly more specific about what these sustainability plans are. Additionally, financial success would have to be defined in the IA in order to ensure that the measurement criteria is clear. Finally, the third RQ is a good one, except it is a little bit too broad. As Audi is a company that operates all over the world, it might be difficult to analyze this new product launch in 1,800 words. Here, the student could specify a specific market, like Audi's home market of Germany, or a region, such as the European Union, to help ensure the analysis is more focused. More generally, make sure you do a bit of background research before confirming a topic. While there is nothing wrong with modifying your question as you go, you should make sure that there is sufficient information related to your company and chosen business event early on in the IA process. Now, with your BM tools, theory, and techniques, or TTTs, there are 3 key things that you need to know. The first is that TTTs are fit for purpose. This means that every tool, theory, or technique that you choose specifically helps you answer your RQ. Now remember that just because someone else did a similar question, it doesn't mean that the same TTTs that they picked will be appropriate for you and your IA, as the business context might be different. The second is that quality is always greater than quantity. We've seen many students try to pack in 4 to 5 TTTs in their IA. Instead, the IB strongly prefers you to choose 2 or 3 and apply them appropriately, which means in sufficient depth to maximize your marks on Criterion C, which relates to your selection and application of TTTs. Finally, your TTTs should be well balanced. This means that they should support both the qualitative and quantitative aspects of your analysis. Ensuring that these 3 steps are met will maximize your chances of scoring well on Criterion C. One thing to note here is that it is okay to change your TTTs as you go. Sometimes you find that there isn't any information or that the TTTs are no longer appropriate because your RQ is changing. it is completely fine to switch your TTTs in this case, and it is generally to your advantage to take the extra time to make sure that the TTTs help answer your RQ. Now, in terms of research, you want to make sure you want to use a variety of sources that support multiple perspectives. Practically, this means that you are choosing sources that come from inside or within the company, such as an annual report, as well as sources that come from outside the company, such as newspaper articles or journals. These sources should help support the various arguments that you have in your IA. Now, while primary research is allowed in the IA, we strongly recommend that you stick to secondary research unless you have a direct contact at your company who is ideally involved in your business event. Now, lots of students we work with have brought up that they notice students around the world post surveys to Reddit as part of their IA data collection process and wonder if they can do the same. Now, this is something that may have worked in certain instances for the old syllabus or the old IA, but for your syllabus, your teacher or examiner will likely consider this to be an inappropriate source, as your target of the survey, in this case students, is likely not representative as the market as a whole. To be safe here, stick to secondary research unless absolutely necessary, or you have a contact at the company that you're researching. Now, finally, I look at a few common things that students tend to overlook, which could be helpful to them when they write the IA. Now, the first is understanding the components of the IA, or in other words, what specifically do I need to include in each section of the IA, and ensuring that you meet the structural and formatting requirements of the assessment. While there is less guidance on specific structures for the new IA, we do have some recommended structures that you can follow on the Diplomaly website. Make sure you also review the assessment criteria in order to understand how your teacher or IB examiner will be assessing your IA. If you're someone who's aiming for a level 7, make sure you're using key evaluative phrases throughout your IA. This is important because showing evaluation is a requirement to score well on Criterion D and necessary to score on level 7. Consider using phrases such as short run or long run when considering your impacts on the business or impacts on stakeholders to show how you've considered the relative importance of the various factors or pieces of evidence within your analysis. Finally, while all IB students know this is easier said than done, try to give yourself enough time on the IA. Start early, as the IA is a time-consuming and sometimes difficult task, but putting in your best effort on the draft will ensure that you get meaningful feedback from your teacher and set you up well for the final submission. Now, if you are looking for additional personalized help on your IA, please feel free to reach out to us via email or via WhatsApp. In the meantime, feel free to check out the resources on diplomaly.org. The resources on the website will help address many of the topics I've discussed in the video and provide further examples. If this video was useful to you, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions or would like to see us cover any other types of BM content, please let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching and best of luck with your IA process. In the last section of the video, I'll walk you through some of the resources that Diplomaly has to help support you on the IA. The first section is focused on IA requirements, which include what is involved in the process of writing the IA, a breakdown of assessment criteria, which will help you better understand what your teacher or examiner is looking for, as well as some top tips to help set you up for success. The second section is focused on the research question. This includes a step-by-step guide on coming up with a level 7 RQ and includes some possible ideas for your IA and example RQs that successful students have used in the past. The third section focuses on your TTTs. Specifically, this section focuses on what considerations you should have when choosing your TTTs and the different options that you can take depending on your RQ. The fourth section focuses on the research process. This includes guidance on choosing your supporting documents. More specifically, it looks at the different types of sources that you can use in your IA, specific examples of where you can find these sources, and how you can think about integrating them into your IA. The fifth section includes an IA checklist to help ensure you're meeting the structural and formatting requirements of the assessment, as well as an analysis on the different ways that you can choose to present and structure the different components of your IA. Finally, the exemplars highlight some of the successful IAs written by our past students, which include annotations from an IB examiner. These annotations help you understand why the student performed well and also help you understand what the examiner is looking for when they are looking at different sections of the IA.